Welcome to how I'm going to explain how you should properly approach prop firms. There's not that much resources online, so thought I'd make a video. Kind of simplifies it, explains goals, timeline, and the proper way to use them to get the most out of the ROI. Start off, I'm gonna give an example of a 50K. Let me fix the. Should be good. So 50K. There's different prop firms to get 50Ks off of. I'm gonna go based off of Alpha Futures, zero account. This is a $80 ish, depending on the deal. So when you have a one single 50K, you're not really working with a lot of leverage. So for most people that are doing one prop firm challenge, it is best to risk. This is depending on your win rate. So if you are a high win rate, risk 2 to 4 losses. And so for high win rate, the reason why it's 2 to 4 losses is say you have a 4% drawdown and or yeah, 4% drawdown. So you have $2,000 to lose. You're going to have a high win rate already. So if in a system where you have above a 60 to 70% win rate, this should be pretty easy to pass. And if there, I mean, it's possible you lose in 2 to 4 losses, right? If you're just stacking accounts and want to get funded quick, then sure, you could risk 1,000 per trade to pass it. And I mean that's just depending on your goals. So if that's quick and easy, or if you're newer, four. And so once you pass the account though, right? How should you approach this so that you can maximize and stack more capital? So we're gonna start off with a $2,000 buffer. We're gonna go the same kind of risk if you're a high win rate system. 5 losses. So what would that be? So say you're gonna be risking $400 per trade on a $2,000 max loss limit or drawdown. So that gives you 5 trades to lose in a row, which is almost impossible if you have a winning system and decent win rate, at least if you know your model. And so once you do that, once you get to the buffer point, which would be 52,000, everything from here now should be trying to get those winning days and then build off of this buffer of 52,000. And so your payout should be, you could take, say you make 52,500, you could take that 500 out and reinvest, which then you would make your return on capital like 5x, 6x, and then reinvest. So let's say you got to the buffer point, you took the $500 payout, right? This is now back to 5,200. Now you buy, let's go 2 more 50Ks. So now you're in 160. And then you do the same thing, right? Let me organize this better. Right? So now you have 2 more 50Ks, you use a trade sinker. It's like $80, or you get a good deal. Pass these two. And then now you are trading with 150K capital. Say you're using the same risk premises for these two on the trade sinker, or you're still risking the same 5 losses for your funded account, but you're still 2 to 4 losses for the evaluation accounts. So now you have 150K capital, right? Keep going down. And so now you have, it's the same thing. So now you're going to be risking still the 5 losses per account. And remember, once you've gotten a payout that exceeds the amount you paid for the accounts or account, then you're already winning the ROI game. It's more about time value of money. So if you're, say, you paid $80 and you made that $500 payout, but it took you 6 months, you're not really benefiting the leverage of these funded accounts. So 5 losses per account with the, say you get up to, you're going to be risking at a ratio because your first account's going to have the buffer. So it's going to be 52, 50, and 50. And then you're going to build the buffer on these ones. So you're going to be risking the same. This one's going to get to 54. This one's going to get to 52. This one's going to get 52. Now you're going to take a $2,000 payout from the, I guess I can make these look better, from your original first funded account if you were risking properly and winning. And so now with that $2,000, what do? Pretty simple. Reinvest. Right? And then so there's two ways to go about this. So now that you have a significant return on your investment, you could keep these accounts even though you've made the money back, or you could leverage higher because you've already had that ROI return. Let me draw this out. Reinvest or high leverage 2 to 3 trades to lose. And so these two routes, it takes you, it depends on your goals. So if you're going to leverage 2 to 3 trades to lose, you're willing to take that risk of just buying more accounts. But the smarter on paper thing to do would be to just keep these accounts with the buffer and then reinvest into, you get it? You could either go, there's a lot of deals, a lot of accounts, but I'll just go Top Step, for example. You could buy 5 150Ks. And so same premises, same idea, right? Let me drag this up. Same premises, same idea. You're going to be risking 2 to 4 losses on these accounts. And so now, what do? Bang, you pass. Pass. Now have 750 plus 900,000 in funding. Congrats, you're rich. If only it was that easy, but I wish it was that easy to just be rich off of having all that and just take it out. But the premise is still the same. So now you have all of these accounts, right? And you're trade syncing all of them. So now you have 352,000, and then now you have 550,000. And so once you get to this point, the the risking starts to become more of your preference. So once you start building the larger capital, you don't necessarily have to blow your account or have that five loss until you blow your account like ideology. You could instead risk less once you get to the buffer point, specifically for the new accounts you've gotten. You can now risk less. So instead of risking for these ones, it would be around $400 for the 52K. For the 150K, you could risk at scale would be around a grand or 1.2, but you could risk 500 to 750 per account, and that's still risking a decent amount. That's still a huge payout if you're copy trading all these accounts. For example, say you risk 750 times those 5 accounts, and then you risk 400 times those 3 accounts. Well, guess what? Guess what? You just had a 5K payout. It's pretty simple. Pretty simple. 5K payout. You do this. You don't even have to do this each week. You could do this twice in a month, and you're doing $120,000 a year, pre-taxes. And the scaling, especially like once you're at this point, once you've gotten that return on investment, it's almost, you literally can't go back. It's the scaling, you could I've seen people scale to over 50 funded accounts through like 10 plus firms. It's possible, and I've seen it. And people are doing, they're risking 20K a trade, hitting like 1 to 3 RRs, not consistently. I wouldn't say 1 to 3 RR is something you're gonna hit every day or at a like above 80% win rate or something like high, but it is possible. The people in this space that leverage prop firms more than me, I'm building up to that point. They are doing insane numbers, and I just wanted to show it to you, YouTube, to show that it's possible and it's not a fugazi. This pretty much sums up the thinking behind the ROI and leverage of prop firms and how you should go about it. Now, some people view it differently than I do, but I mean, I'm experienced. This is the way that I see it and how I'd recommend someone scaling should do it. Now, you don't have to specifically go the exact path with Alpha Zero accounts or Top Step accounts. You could use other firms, but the same principle applies for the risk management and then the scaling. Yeah, so that is all I have for this video. I hope this helps. It's my first real YouTube video. 2026 on the come up. Gonna be doing 50K months. Let's go.